What's up, everyone? Welcome to Max Extreme River Fishing and Outdoors. Today, this video is going to be something a little different. This is going to be on Pete, my dog, my fishing dog. You've probably seen him in a lot of videos. Now, I get a lot of questions on Pete. A lot of people love Pete. Awesome dog. I found Pete. He's kind of a rescue dog. Funny circumstances how it happened. So what I'm going to do in this video is go through a story where I'm sitting in the back of the tailgate on my truck with Pete, and I'm going to talk to you about how I found him. He stunk like crazy. Tell you about that. Tell him the problems it caused at home for a little bit. Then he's not a problem at home. Also, we found out Pete has a tumor. A lot of people don't know that. Some do, but I get a lot of emails and questions from people that do know that, about how he's doing. He's doing great, so don't worry about him quite just yet. But I wanted to make a video on Pete before he ever did pass away or anything. Meanwhile, he's doing great. I'm going to have some stories about Pete, like where he got hooked in the ear, how I trained him on doing a certain thing. Meanwhile, stay tuned. Let's get busy. And this is going to be about Pete. I deer hunt. I'd killed a deer. I took him to my processor, get him processed, and the deer processor calls me and says, "Hey Mac, you need to come get your deer." So I go get in the car late one evening, go by my buddy's house, straight to the processor. I pick him up, say, "You want to ride with me?" Yeah. Pick him up. We go get the deer. I'm riding down the road. It's almost right at dark one evening. All of a sudden, I see something running across the road. I had to lock the car up. My Honda goes sideways. I mean, I see it's a dog. About splattered this dog. So, I mean, I was within a foot of him probably. He's sitting there looking at me with them little puppy eyes in the road. But anyway, I shoot him out of the road. Got myself back composed because I literally just about flattened him in the road. And I take off towards the deer processor. Well, I look in the rearview mirror, and this knucklehead, he's running behind me, chasing me down the road. Now this road's a long country road, only has a few houses on it. Where he ran out in front of me is two houses straight across from each other. I was like, man, these people need to keep their dogs up. So I turn around, he follows me back down to those two houses, one across from each other, and I pulled into the one on the left coming back, and he follows me down the driveway. I go up to the door, I knock on the door, and this lady comes up the door, and I said, "Ma'am," I said, "is that your dog?" And she goes, "No," she said, "somebody dumped him out a couple weeks ago." Says he runs from house to house across the street begging for food. She said, "You can have him if you want him." And my friend Todd, sitting in the car at the time, he said he could hear it. And he said he saw my head go like this. Because he knew both of us are dog lovers. I was going to have to take the dog and find the dog a home. So yeah, he started laughing when he saw my head go down because he knew what was going to happen. I was actually going to be taking a dog home. So anyway, got the dog in the car, and he actually jumped in it just like that. I don't know why somebody would dump him out. But anyway, he stunk. Oh my God, he stunk to high heaven. There's some farms around there that have cows. He evidently been rolling in cow manure. He stunk of cow manure like you wouldn't believe. It was terrible. So anyway, I take Tom back home. I come home, have to deal with this stinking dog in the car for an hour drive. Anyway, get him back home, and let's say the wife is not too happy. I've always been a boxer person. I've had 2 boxers when I was young, 2 when I was living here where I live now with my wife, and we had planned on getting another boxer since our last boxer had died of cancer. But anyway, she wasn't too happy with surprise dog, but wasn't a good night at the Mac's house that night. But anyway, now she loves the dog more than me probably. But anyway, it took 3 baths to get that cow manure stink somewhat out of him. So anyway, a couple of days later, I didn't have time the next day or something, but a couple of days later, I take him to the vet, and my vet looks at me and says, "Mac, are you gonna keep this dog?" And I said, "Well, he's a cute dog, he's a sweet dog." I said, "I haven't decided on it yet. I was gonna keep him another few days or something to see how he does." He says, "Well," he said, "I can tell you," he said, "this dog's a sweet dog, cute dog." He said, "I can give this dog away just like that." He said, "I don't have any problem finding this dog a home." I said, "Well, that's good to know." So anyway, Pete grew on me real quick, so I kept Pete. But Pete's a hound dog, and he's used to running, so needless to say, he wanted to bolt and run around the neighborhood a lot the first month I had him. Now, back up a little bit to all the boxers I've ever had. All my neighbors with my boxers think I'm the best dog trainer in the world because I could always keep my boxers in the yard. And it just takes a little training. It's basically the dog does most of it. But anyway, and Miss Diane down the road said, you'll never get Pete to stay in the yard like your boxers. And I said, give me time, I will. Well, it took about a month and a half, and good old Pete will not go out of the yard anymore. Maybe I'll show you a clip of that right there.
Wanna get the ball? Get the ball. See, he stopped. I'm going out in the road.
But he will not go out of the yard anymore. It took him about a month and a half. And the best way to do that, I've found, is take and tie a little cord, like a leash, but a thin cord, like a parachute cord or something, about 30 to 50 feet on him, and have it in your yard. Well, when and you show him the boundaries, you make sure he knows no first. But when you tie that cord on there and he decides he wants to bolt, that cord's usually kind of essed up in the yard, zigzagged in the yard. All you gotta do is run, put your foot on it, stomp it, and say no, and it stops him at the, the boundary. But anyway, he proved on Miss Diane wrong that he could stay in the yard. He has some peculiar habits. Even though he's a hound dog and hunting dog, he does not like to get his feet wet. He don't even like to go outside when it's raining. It's crazy. He tiptoes across the grass. But he's a funky, unique dog. But some of you may know, not a lot of you know, but Pete has a tumor. So I want to kind of make a video on this. And we don't know when Pete's going to go. Nobody knows when they're going to go. But a couple years ago, Pete was diagnosed with a tumor. And it's down near his stomach, wrapped around something. But anyway, it's not, maybe wrapped around a vessel. That may be right. But anyway, I can't remember the whole thing. But it's not in a good place. Very invasive surgery, very expensive surgery. He might not even make it through the surgery. So we just chose to decide to let things play out. And it might have been 3 years now. Close to 3 years. Probably 2.5, 2 3/4 years he's had it. And he's doing fine. The vet told us he could die any day. But he's doing fine. He's about 8 years old right now. So he's had that since he's maybe 5, 5.5. He doesn't know he has it, so he's alright. But anyway, he loves to fish. He loves to go hunting. He loves chasing squirrels. You see a squirrel? You see a squirrel anywhere? Don't you dare drop down. But anyway, I just wanted to give you a little story on Pete, how I found Pete. He really is a rescue dog, not rescued from a rescue place, but he got rescued out of the street where he would definitely have been splattered, if not by me that night, which I was, that close to hitting him. Somebody else surely would have hit him. So I had to bring him home, stinking all like cow manure and everything. But anyway, I'm gonna leave you. I'm gonna throw some pictures out. I'm gonna try to start. I don't know the exact order of them, but I can look at him, tell when he's younger and when he's older. I'm gonna throw some pictures here at the end, and I'll put in captions like where we're at maybe, or what we're doing. There's one time I'm gonna tell you, I was fishing with him on the Dan River, and he's behind me in my canoe, and I just passed paddling upstream. It's in a mule pond on the Dan. I just passed this couple on one of these little bass hunter plastic boats, and I was around the bend from where they couldn't see me. I was casting a spinnerbait, one of my favorite lures, and it went, ugh! Well, I hooked Pete in the ear. You never heard such a squalling dog. That spinnerbait hooked him right in his ear. He's squalling. It sounded like a tiger had gotten a hold of him. I know those people downstream were thinking, what in the world is going on up there? What's happening to that dog? And so I had to stop paddling, and even though this old mill pond, it has current in the river, we were going down towards a tree laying in the water. So it's a tricky situation. So I had to grab him, pull him between my legs, tighten him up between my knees, hold him, grab his head, had to take that spinnerbait, hook it out of his ear, blood everywhere. The ear was bleeding, I guess like a forehead when you get cut in the head, bleeding like a stuck pig. But he, as soon as I got the hook out, he was just happy, like wagging his tail, wanting to fish again. Blood everywhere. But I'll show you one of them pictures. I'll put that's the spinnerbait instant. But anyway, I just want to give you a little update on Pete. People ask a lot of questions on email and on Facebook about Pete. But anyway, guys, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. It's right there. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.